Hi guys, welcome back. It's been a while because there's been no international rugby. Northern Hemisphere international rugby. I mean, we thought about doing the the Southern Hemisphere teams, but we didn't really have the time, and so we didn't.
Keep it nice and simple.
Yeah, so anyway, we're back. It's autumn international time. Alex, what is the main aim of these games, would you say?
I think for me it's testing out new players, testing out new combinations. Realistically, it's kind of a wind down for the Southern Hemisphere teams, a bit of a ramp up towards the Six Nations for the Northern Hemisphere. So for me it's kind of blooding some young players before the Six Nations, seeing what they're about, seeing whether they can compete at that level, and then going from there really.
Yeah, I think it's different actually, Alex, this year, because it's 2 years out from a World Cup. Now is the time, if they want to find out about young players or fringe players, now is the time. It is about results as always, but it's not as much about results. Next year in the Autumn Internationals, I think you'll be finding they'll be playing pretty much their strongest teams, and it will be all about performing with that team towards the World Cup. It's going to be slightly different, I think, this time round. So anyway, let's start with Wales.
Okay.
My first thoughts, I don't know what you think, is they have a crazy hard fixture list.
Yeah, they do. It's going to be tough for them.
Australia, Georgia, New Zealand, South Africa.
I think finishing off with New Zealand followed by South Africa is going to be a tough ask anyway. But I think they'll struggle. They've got a few injuries. I think they're okay for the moment, but actually getting into the Six Nations, I think they're going to find it difficult.
I mean, what I'd say, to be cynical, Alex, is I think that's too many games. And I think maybe, please comment below what you think the motivation is, but I think money might be the motivation there. Yeah,
and from talking to a couple of guys that I know that have got links with the Welsh Rugby Union, they're saying that it's very much money driven. And I think it's kind of systemic across the whole game of rugby in Wales, that there are some massive issues that are bubbling away under the surface.
I mean, it's Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, they're the only team that are playing all three of the big dogs. They're going to get loads of money, and they've crammed in an extra game there. And I can only think against Georgia, they're going to play a stack of their new players.
Well, but then you think, is there much benefit to it? If you're being cynical, you think, is there much benefit to that Georgia game?
Definitely not.
Arguably not. And that's the only game Georgia are playing in the whole tournament.
I mean, so comment below, but I mean, we think that is a ploy to get more money, and they don't need 4 games.
No, not at all. As we're on Wales, obviously there's been a lot of talk about Gatland's kind of change in Gatland's law this year.
Gatland's law,
going to 60+ caps. For me, I think that number's quite high. What are your thoughts on it?
It's interesting. I mean, I think it's the same as Australia. I was thinking they might go to 50. That was what I was thinking in my head. Essentially, I've given up trying to understand what the system is, to be honest. I mean, really, are you going to exclude Rhys Webb? Really, from the World Cup?
You are. And that's where my issue comes. You as a coach,
do they want to?
But that's the thing, you as a coach and you as an institution need to have the best players available playing for your country. Full stop.
Right.
If they choose and they can earn more money going abroad, you need to ask yourself a serious question as a governing body, what can we do to keep these players here? It's not limiting it to 60 caps, it's not saying we can only select 4 players that play abroad. That's not going to help. Rugby players have a short career for me. And actually, they need to do everything in their power to keep them playing in Wales.
It's a hard one. I mean, I don't know the answer. I think the whole thing's a bit of a mess. That they brought it out just after Rhys Webb had signed his contract. Seemed very strange to me.
Again, he's a massive loss.
Oh, huge,
massive loss. I
would go as far to say as they would not win the World Cup without him. Possibly.
And I don't think there's another player in that Welsh setup in the same position as that.
No. I would not be surprised to see Rhys Webb back somehow. They'll fudge the rule. We shall see. Coaches with Wales quickly. Gatland and Howling are leaving after the World Cup. Howley's come under criticism. Gatland's felt the stress of the Lions job. I think it's a problem.
I think it is. I mean, for me, I wouldn't be surprised if Howley goes early.
Okay.
I think just because he's copping a lot of stick at the moment. I can see him seeing it out until after
I think
the
he'll
World
see it
Cup,
out with Gatlin. I think him and Gatlin leaving together makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does. But I think there's issues in Welsh rugby at the moment bubbling under the surface.
Definitely. It was interesting though, because Howley, had been one of the favourites to take the Welsh job after Gatland, and the fact he's already said he's leaving is interesting. So maybe I think the pressure has probably got to them, and understandably so.
Yeah, exactly.
And they've had disruption. Gatland's been away last year. It's not a great situation. So with Wales, I just think they need to get their style of play, their new style of play, going with their senior players.
Yeah, completely agree.
That's what it's all about for me, not so much results.
Yeah.
Anyway, right, we need to move on.
Yeah.
Ireland, South Africa, Fiji, Argentina.
Good fixture card for Ireland, I think.
That looks sensible to me, absolutely. You've got a real mix there of abilities and styles.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Like
and it'd be nice because you'll have the structured game against South Africa and Argentina, forward dominated, good test. Fiji, unstructured, much more scramble defensive effort, and it'll test them in different ways. So I think as a build-up for the Six Nations, that's a great fixture card.
Absolutely. Talking about Fiji is interesting. A lot of people have said Fiji could be a real threat come the World Cup.
Yeah, I agree.
Player-wise, absolutely.
Whoa, unreal. You look at some of the talent in the French league, top 14 at the moment, unbelievable, some Fijian players.
I still think the limitation of the time they have together, the limitations of their governing body will mean they won't challenge, personally.
Yeah.
If they get it right, then what a team.
Oh, they've got some world-class players.
I just don't think they have the time together.
No. I think Ireland are looking quite exciting.
Yep.
I think the squads in the provinces are looking very strong this year. They're playing a good style of rugby. Johnny Sexton looks like he's found his magic again, watching him play for Leinster last week.
Absolutely.
So I think they'll do all right.
Yeah, as we said last year though, I think back three's the one for me, Al. I want to see who the new back threes are. Stockdale, I'm very interested to see him go on the wing.
Yeah.
Carberry maybe at full-back.
Yeah.
They've dropped Zebo.
Well, because he's moving.
Because he's moving. And I think they needed a new back three anyway to challenge at the top level.
I think you could get away with sticking somebody like Tommy Bowe in there for another couple of years.
I think Tommy Bowe's been dropped anyway. He's not in the squad, is he?
No, I think having somebody of with that experience knocking around, I think
Keith Earl's got a lot of experience. But you see some players like Rob Carney, awesome player in his day, but I think honestly a bit past his best now. So back three is interesting. Some questions on Rory Best as captain, similar to the Dylan Hartley situation actually. I see him sticking around even if he's not quite the best hooker.
Yeah, I think they'll do a similar thing that England have done, won't they? I think
a lot of people say it's time for him to go, but I think they've kind of put all their cards on him now and he might stay. But let us know what you think.
Yeah.
Scotland, Samoa, New Zealand, Australia, very tasty fixture list.
Yeah, and there's been a lot about the change in Scotland's mindset the last couple of years, and that they're not just there to lose bravely, they're there to win games. And I think I massively agree with that. I think they're the most improved side, arguably, in world rugby at the moment. Scotland, in terms of the way they're playing, they found some decent players again. I think Finn Russell at fly half's been an absolute revelation.
It's a revelation, absolute revelation. If they lose him, I'd like to see who the backup is. I don't think they've got a player like him. Could young Hastings be that player potentially?
Yeah, could well be.
We'll see. But just Scotland have completely changed my opinion of them. From when I was young, I felt they were very brave, but a little boring side. Battered away, a bit one-dimensional, and that was my kind of set opinion for a while. And they've just completely changed it. So exciting to watch. I can't wait to watch Scotland play rugby.
Yeah, and arguably, you look at the back three, they've probably got the most informed back three to select from out of any of the home nations at the moment. I think they're so exciting.
Fantastic. Okay, finally England, Argentina, Australia, Samoa. Certainly a lot of an easier fixture list, if you like, than some of the others, which is interesting.
Yeah. I'd have liked to have seen South Africa on that fixture card, I think.
Sure.
Obviously New Zealand's an issue, which we can get into another time, but I'd have liked to have seen South Africa. I think they need that physical challenge. Possibly,
but I think the advantage is they've got a couple of games where they could really experiment. I think results aren't so much everything for England. They've got quite a few young players to get in there and see if they're good enough. So I'm hoping to see a lot of youngsters in there. We will do a separate video on England and have a look at that.
Yeah, exactly. Australia, I think they're going to put their best team out for.
Yeah.
And that's where we'll see what they're looking like at the moment.
Yeah, I think like for all the home nations, I think it would just be a good chance to see how they fare against the Southern Hemisphere, who've actually played a lot of rugby together recently with the Rugby Championship. So it'd be interesting to see how they kind of shape up to it.
Awesome. Okay, guys. That's that for the not Six Nations, the Autumn Internationals. Let us know what you think.
Yeah.
We'll also put out another video on England specifically. But until next time, we shall see you later.